Peace, love, and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Get This Wisdom Live. I am your co-host for this episode, Shakti Sterner. Some of you know me as Shakti Everlasting Peace Earth, the editor-in-chief of Get This Wisdom magazine, and the co-founder of Get This Wisdom Live. Today, family, we are so honored to have a very powerful brother in the building, Knowledge Born of Law, the creator, the founder, and the CEO of Do the Knowledge Radio and Do the Knowledge University. He rarely speaks to anyone. He's like this big old, he just stays behind the camera and the microphone. So for us to have this gift to actually speak one-on-one with him on today's episode is definitely something that we are grateful for and we value. So without further ado, I want to bring on today's guest, Knowledge Born of Law. And, I'm just excited. Peace, God, you there? How are you?
Peace, Earth. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be welcome back on this illustrious platform, Get This Wisdom Live. Supreme honor and peace to you and your illustrious dynamic team that brings forth the true essence of media and the true essence of collaboration and teamwork. So salute to you, salute to Callie, salute to Bree and all of the team that is Get This Wisdom Live, and also that brings us the first of its kind, a one-of-one media magazine, top notch, number one, Get This Wisdom magazine. So I encourage all of the listeners and the viewers to support the laudable endeavors of Get This Wisdom magazine. Y'all can go to www.getthiswisdommagazine.com and subscribe today and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. They're doing a phenomenal job in controlling our narrative and giving voice to the voiceless. So definitely an honor and a privilege to be here with you on today.
Thank you very much. So for those three people that I guess hide under a rock or something, or they just stay in the corner, do you mind sharing your history with those three people who don't know who you are?
Okay. We begin the platform that the world has the opportunity to know. Do Knowledge Radio, August 29th, 2015. First show was phenomenal. And 60 or more shows, maybe 580 by now, closing in on 600 episodes. Uh, we're still here and an integral force in changing our narrative and controlling our narrative. As you know, um, in a war effort, one of the greatest tools that is used by enemy force. Propaganda lasts longer than any missile, any bomb, any nuclear effect, any munitions, or any projectile that an enemy can impose upon another force in a force on force combat type of situation. So while they were bombing in Vietnam, while they were bombing in World War One and World War Two, they were on the megaphones telling the Africans that were there, "Black man, go home. It's not your war. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to kill you." So that insurgency program was there, and the U.S. took a lesson from that. So when they bombed Sudan, when they bombed Afghanistan, when they bombed Iraq, they were also dropping leaflets, saying that they were here to help and they were here to build schools and roads and, things like that. So the initial war effort is force on force when you occupy an area. So you hit your supposed enemies with an overwhelming military force. And then after that, you manage the war effort and campaign with contingency operations. And those contingency operations are for the hearts and minds of the people, because the hearts and minds of the people is the true essence of where the goal is. So if we can get the people to have a buy-in in regards to, what our goals, aims, and objectives are, we won't have to fight them as hard as we used to. You see what I'm saying? So, with this propaganda tool, able to go through the muck and the mire and go through the traps that were set before by our enemies and truly get to the hearts and minds of our people so they can see their hearts and minds for the first time. So the goal, aim, and objective of Do Knowledge Radio, Do Knowledge University, anything that we have in regards to an offering for the people is to truly get to the hearts and minds of the people, to get them to mobilize towards our liberation. Because we know and understand that in a war effort, it must be a synchronicity and a movement. Everybody must be able to move towards this particular objective. And this objective of liberation has to be in the forefront of every participant's mind. It has to be the top of mind. So, with this, uh, initiative set forth, from our ancestors, we're moving towards this objective, and all of our thoughts and all of our deeds and all of our sacrifices and all of our resources, all of our time has been dedicated to, piloting a program that would, exude a spirit of insurrection within the mind of the African man, the African woman, and the African child, to reconnect in that link that was severed between our ancestral lineage, our elders, our peers, our youth, and our future, our ancestors' return, not yet born in the physical form. So, we got together and said, what could we do to further along the war effort for the hearts and minds of our people? There were other broadcasts, there were other, groups of people that, came together collaboratively to, allow a space or facilitate a space for people to bring forth information and also people to bring forth their offerings, their knowledge, skills, and abilities, their talents, you know. So we want to create a virtual situation based off of that same type of force, and continue on the the responsibility and the scope of the work. So Nas Radio, we got together and we got on the air on Blog Talk Radio August 29th, 2015, and we've been going ever since. We initially started out as a weekend broadcast, just Saturday and Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just would have guests on. And as the need progressed, and also the availability of some of the people that we wanted to bring on, was throughout the week, we transitioned from just a weekend to a couple of days of the week. As the need grew again, we transitioned from a couple of days of the weekend to every day of the week. So, currently we are on, as the Gregorian calendar would talk to us, 7 days a week, but, we're African people, so we're on 8 days a week. And we start our week with Africa, and we end our week with Africa, and everything in between is African. So that's how much attention that we found during our market analysis is needed to, plant a seed to get through the bad soil, the topsoil, to the fertile soil, which is, deeply rooted within the mind of the African. We have to fight through we have to break ground and fight through all of the European psychology and spheres of influence and indoctrination and mind control tactics to find, under that topsoil, in that fertile, rich soil that's just waiting to be, cultivated, that was waiting to be worked, that was waiting to be shaped and molded. And the more we do it, the more we get rid of that topsoil, the easier it is to find that fertile soil. Because our people want to know who they are, they want to know where they come from, and they want to know where they're going. So, the brothers and sisters are coming, and they're coming with, remarkable skills. They're coming with remarkable talents. So we're not in lack in regards to the greatness that is us. However, we are in lack with, proper channels to broadcast this message of empowerment, this message of self-sustainability, to the world. So definitely, in spirit of collaboration, we're dealing with, you know, you know, uh, the warriors over here at Get This Wisdom Live, Get This Wisdom Magazine, and some other groups and people that we're going to get into, during the body of this interview, that stand as vanguards for African liberation. So people who are connected to our particular lifestyle, and our particular lifestyle uh, is unapologetic and not in a position of compromise and not in a position of concession. This is a truly strong effort to raise the awareness and to raise up the insurrection spirit of African people. So this is just one of many contributions to that war effort.
Indeed, and it's a beautiful contribution. The platform you've opened it up to so many people that reside and prescribe to so many different schools of thought. So going forward, this is a platform that promotes knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, knowledge of self. So, Lord, how long have you had knowledge of self, and how would you personally describe knowledge of self?
That's a good question. I would have to say that because of my mother and because of my father and because of their mothers and fathers, that this term was given to me through my ancestral descendancy. So before you manifest in material form, you exist in a form that is hidden from the material view. So in order for you to recognize you, you have to be in the same form. So my mother and father and I made an agreement that I would incarnate through them coming together. And they made the decision, and we made the decision, us three did agree, that I would come through my mother's womb. And if we would return to our natural state, we would see that this is a decision that you make. When a sister and a brother comes together and they decide to become one family, they already made a contract with the universe that they would create things together. And all life is created through that process. The mind gives birth, just as the womb of space borns planets and borns, you know, stellar configurations into existence. Your ideas, your thoughts are made manifest in physical form, but they begin in the womb of the mind. They receive a spark, and that spark collides with the womb and fertilizes that egg. And then, in gestation, it's cultivated and grown in the mind and manifest in the physical form. So, out of sheer nothingness, in the triple darkness or space of the womb of the mind, is where all life emanates from. And that spark, that electricity that begins in that process. And those gases and all those elementals come together and form and shape in mind, just as they begin in the womb through that same process. So physically, when the sister and the brother comes together, the result of that union is life coming into existence, because life begets life. And when we remember and reflect on that birthing process, we can begin to see where knowledge of self comes from. Knowledge of self comes from that collision between knowledge and wisdom, that joining together of knowledge and wisdom, that two halves becoming one. And then out of that experience, one is brought into existence. Understanding. And that's why understanding is the best part, because understanding is present when knowledge and wisdom come together. So dealing with that space and having that renewed understanding of the process of life, that life is present when knowledge and wisdom come together. And from that, born an understanding of the best part. The best part. So when you're dealing with the best part, you are in tune with the best qualities and characteristics and traits of yourself. So you see yourself manifested in physical form, and you two agree that this is the best part. So this best part is most important. So going back to understanding our African way of life, if you've seen the original film Roots, and they were exalting that beautiful African child from their place of origin, that celestial imperative said, behold, the only thing greater than yourself. This is a conversation with the ancestral realm, with the creator, saying, behold, the only thing greater than yourself. Because where they sit in their form is hidden from our material view. However, you do see remnants of light and spark, which we call stars or planetary systems, that exist within the cosmos and manifest in that physical form for our benefit. So that gift that comes into form, that was shaped and fashioned in the womb of the mind, manifests in the womb of our woman. And then after the gestation period, life is manifested in the physical form. So our material eyes can actualize an experience that our mind's eye had already made manifest. So dealing with that renewed spirit of how life is made, we all begin with this knowledge of self from birth. In the Islamic tradition, they call it the fitra, and the fitra is the birthright. This is something that is your birthright. So if you're seeking knowledge of self, you've had it since you were born. Now, when you begin to interact with the physical reality, now your mind is shifting and you start to question things. So when you start to question things, either it's met with positivity or negativity. So based on those polar opposites, you make a determination whether or not you're going to ask questions. For the parents out there, the children are looking, these young African children are looking for confirmation, not for information. They are born of your best part. They're born of your best part. So now they're looking to establish a trust or a bond or a relationship with you through a series of questions. And they're looking for you to be able to provide them with the confirmation that they need since they came through you. And if you don't provide them with that confirmation, they will no longer bring their questions to you. So you just lost a life through what I call a mental abortion. The same way you would abort an idea if you no longer cultivate it or you no longer see it to fruition or through the birthing process where it's made manifest. And then after it's made manifest, you can destroy that idea by no longer building on it. So this process is something that's very critical uh, in regards to our people, and with our people not truly being in tune with that um, commandment, you would be in a position where which you would you would try to describe something, or you would try to look at it not through your lens, but the lens of your enemy. So, me having knowledge of self, I had knowledge of self ever since I manifested in the physical form. Now, I went through many schools of instruction along that path for the experience, for confirmation. And that first institution was my home. My mother and my father gave us a way of life. And then we also, as a family, walked through whatever way of life was of interest to us at a particular time. So this was a family walk through several experiences. And, my brothers and sisters, they took what agreed with them in their spirit, along with what their mission is on the planet. And that's the walk that they're walking. So for me, my particular walk was cultivated through the Islamic paradigm. And, I dealt with, Christianity, I dealt with Islam, I dealt with Judaism, all of these particular schools, the Wahhabians, the Moors, Hebrew Israelites, anything that our people found themselves doing, I've done. The military was another thing. All of these particular places, fraternal organizations, and what have you, they all have pieces of our people involved in it, and we have to go after our people because we need our people that are of sound mind and agree that life is sacred and they want to continue life through a lifestyle, through in the way our ancestors intended it to be, through an African way of life. So, as an African, whether the brothers and sisters identify with it or not, you still see the remnants of adherence to those tenets that preceded us. They have a cosmology. They're dealing with an ancestral type of way, and then there's a connection based upon a chronos or a timeline that shows a lineage that traces back from an ancestor to an elder to a peer group to our children into a future. If these particular way of lives don't have that present, then it's not a way of life. If there's a stagnation along that chain or point, it's not a way of life. If life does not result out of the union, then it's not a way of life. So, to make a long story short, or long, depending on how you look at it, having knowledge of self is knowing that you have a responsibility to continue on life because life begets life. Life begets life. Life does not beget death. And when you come to a point of stagnation, stagnation is death. Your life expires on this realm. But we know as African people, there is no such thing as death. One of the things that science says is that energy is never is not created nor destroyed; it simply changes form. So this is a statement that is speaking to an existence that the would-be scientist doesn't even understand. They cannot fathom energy. So the same way they cannot fathom energy, that means that they cannot fathom us. Our enemies cannot fathom us. So any effort that was ever tried to destroy us, we just continue to change form. We just continue to change form because nobody knows how we got here, and so nobody knows how we end. So with that responsibility on part of the people, we have to know if we're dealing with knowledge of self, we're not just dealing with the external vestigial self, that reflection that we see in the mirror. We have to go beyond that into ourself and truly make that analysis on every level from the subatomic particle to the external.
Wonderful. You know, you spoke earlier to different people and the different roles they play as the vanguard, and we'll get deeper into some of those people and their platforms in a little bit. But I want to ask you, coming from a male's perspective, see, we sisters can only understand. We don't know what it is to think like a man, no matter what people say, no matter what movies are out there, what books. We sisters can never know that. So, coming from a God such as yourself, what is the main, like, what is the missing element of the brotherhood right now? And what can be done to heal the brotherhood so it can be an even stronger vanguard for our babies?
Another excellent question. Most definitely. The missing element of brotherhood comes in from the lack of womb reverence. So when we talk about womb reverence, we start to look at our connection to the womb. The Holy Quran says, where you find no good men, you will find no good women. So, and in another place, it says that paradise is at the feet of our mothers. And then in the opening, it says, and do not cut off relations with the wombs that bore you. So when you have brothers in disarray, you have brothers in disarray when we no longer honor our women. Tupac said, and keep your head up, if we don't, we have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies. And if we look at what was projected and how it was projected on to our people, our value systems in regards to our women, we don't honor our mothers, we don't honor our aunts, we don't honor our sisters, we don't honor our daughters, we don't honor them. This is where our honor came from. This is how you became a man. Your duty as a man is to be the protector and maintainer of your woman. So if you did not learn that from a man, if a man didn't teach you, if an African man did not teach you, if the African men of the community did not teach you how to be a man, then you won't be a man. So the highest thing that you could be on the planet, just look at the degrees and how they go. You start off as a son, S-O-N, S-U-N, son of a father and mother. And you have a duty and responsibility to your father and mother. And with that renewed responsibility, they have duties to you. It's an analogy that I use called the guidance counselor. And the guidance counselor in a school of instruction, I tell you, the first institution for me was home, because when you look in the home, when you look in the African home, you can see everything that you need to see. So you get information at home, you get confirmation outside of the home. And you look at the guidance counselor. So the guidance counselor in the school is representative of the two pillars in your family. And the two pillars of your family are the supports of the family, which uphold the family. And those supports are your mother and your father. So now this established process comes into play to show you how the family is so critical, so vital. The family is the foundation and the building blocks and the supports and the archway of the artifices that are built and that become messages, just as stars become messages that were sent from long ago. This is proof of an ancestral lineage. You see a star, it has a lineage. You see a child, the child could not exist here without having a lineage. So you would start off as a son. And you're a son, and you're supposed to be learning two things from your guidance and your counselor. The guidance comes from your father, because your father had a father, and his father had a father. So you come from a line where which you can receive guidance as a son, because your ultimate job as a son is to become a father. So you receive guidance from one who was rightly guided. If they were not rightly guided, you cannot receive guidance. And then you have the counselor, the wonderful counselor, which is your mother, your black mother. Your black mother was giving you counseling in the womb. Your black mother was reading you books, telling you stories, telling you about the family. We're so happy, we can't wait to see you. Your black mother was meeting with other black mothers and they were sharing their experiences. So they know how you feel because they give you the counseling that's necessary to make you whole. So your father shows you how to be a father, and your mother shows you how to be a husband. Shows you how to be a husband through that relationship. Because if you grow up righteously with your mother, you want a wife that would exude those qualities and examples of compassion and patience and love and those abilities to bear burdens because our sisters bear the burden of life. The fruit of life comes through their womb. The hips separate. They go through gestation. The baby's in the womb, flipping upside down and preparing to come out of the birth canal. There's no burden that our sister cannot bear. So our sister goes through that pure pain and bloodshed, goes through that revolution so we can have life. So then our job in womb reference is to recognize that without that womb, nothing manifests in physical form. So you got a son that comes out of a womb, and then he comes out of that womb. He has a duty to that womb. He has a duty to his mother. And when the son comes out of the womb, the son has to establish a link and connection with his mother. He becomes his mother's son until he comes to an age where which he needs to be guided. This interconnection of the relationship, the role and responsibility that comes along with the process, the preparation for tomorrow, the acknowledgement of yesterday, the moment, the present of now, the gift that is now, and then the onus of tomorrow. Rest in the understanding of that process. And when we no longer understand that process, when that process looks like it's unnatural, that you can go to a doctor and they can cut inside you and take your baby out. When the baby does not come through the birth canal, you skip the step in the process. When they alter you, they give you drugs to induce, or they go through any of these processes right here to interrupt the natural process of life coming out of the womb. You are scarred. You are scarred. So if they remove any part, they cut away any part of that process, you are robbed out of the process. If the brother is not there during that birthing process, if the sisters are not surrounding you in that birthing process, you have lost out of that birthing process, out of that experience, and cultivating that greatness that is life. Seeing that life come from the celestial or the metaphysical realm to the realm of physicality. That process, that connection from son to brother, to man, to father, to husband are gone. Because if your value system does not speak to those processes, your way of life that you akin to or align with does not speak to those processes, you do not have a process. And you have a process that will turn you against that value system and demonize that process. Look at how many attempts are brought forth within a society to destroy or to demonize the birthing process. Look at the emphasis that's placed on creating conditions economically you from having life. So when we look at that process, we begin to say that something is wrong with a society that would rather have you be unnatural or artificial versus this natural, righteous process of life. So the breakdown comes in when a son no longer values his mother, no longer values his sister, no longer values his aunts, no longer values his wife or his daughter. So when brotherhood comes into question, brotherhood is something that comes into play in the same process. You're a son, and your mother and father have another child. You have a duty and responsibility to your brother and to your sister. Look at that. Look at that, how these things move in stages and they move into development. They have a whole psychological department that is dedicated to striving to articulate this process called lifespan psychology. And they have lifespan psychologists that try to chart through this experience throughout your lifespan. And at each stage, they have things that are synonymous based on the things that have been reported to them. So like this process. So you begin as a son, and then you become a brother to your brother and sister, and you got a responsibility. If you're the oldest child, if you're a middle child, or if you're the youngest child, you got a responsibility, and then you all have responsibility. So again, this is all within the household. This is all within the African family, the immediate African family, the sister, the brother, and the children. This is what's happening within the framework of the family. So the breaking down of the family, the breaking down within the society begins within the breaking down of the family. The destruction of Black civilization or African civilization begins with the destruction of the family. My brother, man, the chief prefect of Ningsu, Uncle Nu, said if we had a religion, our religion would be family. That's our oldest religion, family. And, if anybody was to ask when I was born, hey, when I was born, what's your religion? My religion is Black people. Only. And that's something that I knew from birth. And got confirmation at every juncture. We're here now discussing what? We're discussing the maladies and afflictions of our people through critical in-depth analysis, but we keep coming back to our foundation. Our foundation is our family. In the African family, in the African traditions, in the African way of life, if we do not have family, we do not have anything. So if we look at this, truly, we have an understanding of how things begin to break down. You have a body that allows you to stand upright, but you weren't always upright. You had to be taught how to walk. You had to be taught how to talk. All of these things come from your family. And you were instilled with family values, a value system to value your family above all things. So if you go back to the protecting and maintaining of women, if they're not the protectors and maintainers of women, then the family is in disarray. if they're not protecting, if they're not maintaining. But where do they learn that responsibility from? They learn it from within their family structure. The sons become protectors and maintainers of their sisters. The sons become protectors and maintainers of one another. The sons become protectors and maintainers of their mother. All throughout this whole entire process that's going on, they're learning their role and functionality within the framework of their later life community and society, and ultimately their global view. So when this education is not brought there, when this rites of passage is not brought there and not taking place, you will have a breakdown in the connectivity and the relationships as they exist within our community, because we have a breakdown in the connectivity and the relationships of our family. Our youth should be guided. Our youth should be counseled at home and abroad. So abroad would be, in this sense, out in the communities. This is done by an elaborate program of the community. And the spearhead for that is the elders, then the men, then the women, then the children. Not in a hierarchical type of situation, because we deal with, in African society, egalitarianism. Because if you say matriarch, then you got patriarch, and then now we got an infight in between what way of life we're supposed to be using. But when we're dealing with equality, equality means to deal equal in all things. When we value one another's position and contributions, we understand that we cannot do it without everybody doing what they're supposed to do. Instinctually, and with the thought in mind of our future generations. So that means that something short-term is not going to work. Long-term contingency operations need to be put in place. So anything that's being implemented within the framework of the society has to deal with the long-term sustainability. So if we continue to create brothers and sisters who are the protectors and maintainers of one another, that shared responsibility for the success of our people, then it won't be in question. It won't be in question. The questions will be answered within the framework of our homes, and the confirmation will be given out within the society. So it will be showing proof to a legacy and a lineage that produces a tomorrow. And produces a tomorrow that can be protected, that can be maintained, that can be sustained, and that could be cherished and guarded by the people who have benefited from it. So all of this that I described is in reference to the womb. So that connection to source, that connection to origin, that connection to us begins with that womb reference, with that acknowledgement of how life emanates and how life begins in the physical form. So anything that is created from the space of the mind of this African that's manifested in the physical form needs the same type of care and compassion and guarding and nurturing and continue confirmation. Most sacred in that process is our relationship to one another, who we are to one another, matters the most.
Beautiful breakdown, Lord. Beautiful. And while we're speaking upon the black man, as a black woman or an African woman in America, I understand my role in the black family structure. I also understand my role in what has happened to the black family structure. The black man, to me, has been unfairly blamed for a lot of things. Now, I'm looking to you for your analysis of the current state of the African man in America and his thought process as a whole. How break down the attacks on him? How do you see it? How do you see it to be as the black man in America?
The black man in America is in a place that is not his own. The black family has tried hundreds of years to make this place home and has failed to make this place home. Thing that's associated with being separated mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically from our root, and the root of civilization universally. And in the earth, an opposing force was created to show us where we belong, to show us, what truly matters. So this May Devil exists as a reminder. They don't belong anywhere. We have a place of origin on the planet, just as we have a place of origin in the cosmos. But you got to look back so long that you might get close to our origin if you look at the origin of electricity. So us being detached. Now there's some brothers and sisters who have a mind that, we were here, blah, blah, blah. And to their credit, I'll give them that part of the story. That's their story. That's their story. And I honor their story. Because now just to look, listen, observe, and most of all respect. So at the end, you respect. So you look at it from their perspective and you give it to them. And that's honest to them. But when you ask about African people have an origin. They have a place of origin. They have a place of origin where our ancestors were stolen from, kidnapped from, and subjected to a particular type of torture, mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, that we hadn't experienced. A brainwashing. And out of that brainwashing, mind control experience, new people were created. This is a drafting process to make African people products of the diaspora. I won't even give credence to terminology that's used in the most evil of ways and that's spread universally as something that's associated with us. I won't even give light to that. This grafting process made us unnatural. This grafting process made us disloyal to one another. So all of those bonds that I was speaking about, from birth to transition, have been invaded and have been surrounded. And in essence, we're dealing with African people who are looking for something that can never happen. There's no death with an African living. So because we have this contract that says that we're no longer living, we are dealing with a people that are waiting to die, longing for death. Because we're dealing with an enemy that's not even alive. So this enemy can only give us what they are, dead. These carcasses can only give us what they are, dead. They're dead. So the only way that they can seem alive to us is if the live people say that they're alive. So now our time is spent waiting for death. So the relationships are relative towards our vantage points, our points of view, and our areas of emphasis. So our areas of emphasis and our time is spent promoting, supporting death. So we're supporting and promoting and endorsing death and death activities. We're not supporting the essence of who we are as African people, and that's life. And life only begets life. You see this cycle of life continuing on. We got birth, life, transition, resurrection. Birth, life, transition, and resurrection. This cycle right here. There's no death in that cycle. There's no death in that cycle. You've done this time and time and time and time again. And with each time that we return, since we did not learn what we were supposed to learn previous to that, it become a little harder, become a little bit more difficult. So we're looking at that process. And we think we're dealing in the realm of singularity or single, that we have one life, we got one life to live. We listen to these demons, we listen to these crackers and these bastards when they come up with these catchphrases, hey, you only got one life to live. So you hear that, and you start to give that life. You start to give that life and say, man, I'm gonna die anyway. I don't care about. So once you start doing that, you start realigning your value system and what you accept for value. And now you start to separate yourself from the collective. You start to say things like, man, that's that cat, man. You know what I'm saying? Better him than me. You start to live in the realm of individuality. And that's a graveyard for an African. That's a graveyard. We're not dealing within a single force. We're not dealing in a collective mind. We're not dealing in a collective spirit. We're dealing with individuality. So our enemy capitalizes off of that. Examples I could show is they had LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Now you can see the enemies of our people honing in on indifference. And you can see from that how all of the opposition is created. How you can have somebody with red hair and somebody with blue hair and have them at war with one another. How you could use geographical locations and imaginary borders to have people at war with one another. So you have two brothers that come from broken homes that use their skills to better their families. And now we got them at war with one another on the TV screen. And we shouting like we're in the Coliseum and we seeing two gladiators fight to the death. And if either one of them die, either one of these ones dies, we die in the process. But if we're looking at it individualistically, we can see us separate from them. And the industry is controlling them both. And we're looking at the slaughter of the innocent African mind and seeing it being co-opted by these made devils. So we can support indifference all the way to the end. So indifference comes all the way down to back to what I was saying about value. And you're not valuing your sister. You're not valuing your mother. You're not valuing your brother. All of these things happening within the family. So now you can be at war and they could call it competition. And one of the definitions or one of the terms that's synonymous with war is competition. So they're competing, and this is a war. And in a war, you have casualties. And to the victor belongs the spoils of war. So we have a war that's created or manufactured psychologically within the realm of the mind of African people. They just had a theater, a show. You had Dr. Umar Johnson on one side, Roland Martin on the other side, and the winner was our enemy. The winner was our enemy. You got these playoffs, you got the Super Bowl, and the winner is our enemy. Because if you participating in recreation and sport and play, the injuries that you sustain are long lasting. But they're psychological first, because the first universal law is all is mental. All is mental and all is mind. So if I defeated you in your mind, then the body follows. Just like that analogy, cut off the snake's head and the body will fall. So if we are waging war with one another, the only person that could be content with that win is our enemy. So they come in and finish off the rest. Baba Abiodun Oyewale, the founder of the group we know, The Last Poets, said that the cracker does not divide and conquer. He conquers the divided. So as long as we are not standing together on this battlefield called America, on this battlefield around the globe, our enemies are winning. Our enemies are winning. And we have enemies with an S, not singular, with a Y, not an enemy. We have enemies off of our destruction. And they stand to make a capital gain off of our disunity to one another. So to look at the state of the African man in America, just look at the state of the African woman in America, to look at the state of the African child in America, the African family in America, we see losses in battle. But we also see the winning of the war. For a time in this country, in this a time around the globe, we were winning the battle and losing the war. We were winning the battle with what we called progress and losing the war with them changing the rules of the game. But now we're in a position where we see we're taking some losses. We're taking some losses in the battle, but we are winning the war because we're continuing to fight. Only the dead, salute to my brother PFK Boom, man, 300 Gangsters. Only the dead see the end of war. That's what my brother said. Only the dead see the end of war. And if there's no death for the African, as long as we exist, it's something to fight until we're free. Until our enemies are destroyed. Our enemies with an S. So you might look at the state of our people in this particular place and say, it looks bad. But give that caveat. Give that caveat. Use that conjunction. But we will be victorious. We are victorious. Start thanking the universe for the victory. Change that mentality. Change that psychology. Change that mindset. And then now you have a litmus test. You can go amongst the people and see who are truly here for liberation and who is here for our destruction. Because if we're speaking about winning and we're thankful for winning and we're thanking for that win, and you hear things from people like, we're never going to unify, we ain't never unified, we ain't never coming together, that's crazy, that's a pipe dream, tell them to exit stage left. Because the winners would never invite that into the conversation. Winners are those who are preparing to win. Are we preparing to win? How important is winning for our future? Our ancestors were preparing to win. That's how we got here. Are we preparing to win or preparing to give a win to our future generations, to our tomorrow? Where's our tomorrow? So we got to look at that and really take stock and do the things necessary to win. You know, everybody wants to use, Brother Malcolm's by any means necessary. But how bad do you want to win? How bad do you want to win? How bad do you want to be free? And how bad do you want to see the destruction of our enemies? These are all questions that are relative. Now, everybody can't be responsible for doing the same thing, but everybody can be responsible for doing something that is moving us forward towards liberation. So everybody has a duty and responsibility inherent in that role. And they have to fulfill those responsibilities that are inherent in that role. So to look at the state of the African family here in America, I'll say that the Africans are winning. And the Africans' ultimate win is to leave this place and go back to where we belong.
I totally agree with you there, Lord. Making that move back to the mother and connecting back to the mother is something that's definitely necessary and vital. We live in a land currently where everything is completely foreign to us due to our ancestors being stolen and having everything stripped from them. We wonder why we are playing this game from behind to begin with, but if you really look at the way of life that is being practiced here, this is not ours. Everything, including the economical structure, is something that we know not of. So, do you mind speaking to the lack of financial support we have for one another in our selective businesses?
Excellent question. I wanted to use this opportunity to share some of the people and some of the things that we should support. So I'm gonna share the screen and see what's going on. Now, this institution right here is Earth. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, this is Black and Nobel, and this Black and Nobel has been in existence for the last 15 years. And this catchphrase right here, Black and Nobel, is more than a bookstore. I wanted to highlight that because this is what we speak about when we say it takes a village to raise a child. Black and Nobel is more than a bookstore. It is a sanctuary, a school, safe haven, and community hub where like-minded folks meet to collaborate for empowering themselves and the various communities they hail from. We as the creative are joining together to ensure that Black and Nobel can continue to serve as many individuals and families as possible for many years to come. Thank you for your continued support and helping reaching that goal. And I'm gonna go to this GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe is to save this communiversity. And many of our scholars, many of our entrepreneurs, many of our lecturers have all went through these doors. Many of of the entertainers have came to these doors right here and are continuing to this day to come through these doors. And this lack of support is predicated on our values, value systems, the things that we value. And also, it's twofold. Just lack of awareness and lack of support go hand in hand. This cause right here is one of the greatest causes I can think of for us to invest in. So Look at what is offered. Look at this catalog: books, DVDs, meeting space. They ship to prisons. So for the last 15 years, people from around the globe have been able to receive information no matter where they are. For the people in Flint, they was there, you know, to give donations, water donations, and the sorts and the likes to the people of Flint. From Philly to Flint, driving in the U-Hauls in the snow. They made that trek. So it's a lot of things that work in tandem with one another, and support is the lifeblood. You know, when your body can no longer breathe on its own, they hook you up to a machine in the hospital and tell you that you on life support. And if you don't support life, then life expires. So there are babies that grew up in Black and Nobel. There are teenagers that grew up in Black and Nobel over the last 15 years, and now they're parents. So if you had a child that was born, they're 15 years old now. And if you had a teenager that was 15 years old, they're 30 years old. And you got an adult that was 30, they're 45 years old. You have an adult that's 45 years old and now 60. We can continue to go on and on. And if within the spaces of this 15-year period, the amount of people, the amount of families, the amount of brothers and sisters that this community, this institution of higher learning has helped is countless around the globe. In the entrepreneur scene, the wholesale opportunities that were created in the DVD lane is just remarkable. We got, brothers and sisters that would come and get these DVDs from Black and Nobel, the hard to find joints that you couldn't find nowhere, and they would buy them wholesale and sell them retail. They would repackage them and push them through their product line. So for all of the support that has been given by Black and Nobel, I find it shameful to have to resort to an outside funding source or outside marketing tool to garner funds to maintain sustainability operations. So Black and Nobel, for the people that are listening, you can go to blackandnobel.com where I am right now and just make a purchase. Just make a purchase. Just say, hey, let's make a commitment and say, I'm gonna spend $20 a month with Black and Nobel. I'm gonna spend $20 a month with Black and Nobel. I'm gonna spend $20. You don't have to go to the GoFundMe and donate anything. You could just say, hey, I'm a support Black and Nobel. That's what I'm gonna do. $20 every month. I'm gonna buy something. $20. You got a loved one in the penitentiary system. I'm gonna support my loved one. I'm gonna send them something. I'm gonna send him or her something. If you're out there, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to get into, this business of marketing, this information or any of these products that they offer, make a commitment. Make a commitment. If you're a lecturer, if you're a speaker, hold an event. Hold an event. If you're an artist and you want to do a concert, hold your concert here. Recoup your operating cost and give the rest to Black and Nobel. Or if you're not, pressed for the funds, put an event on and give them all of the proceeds. This is how we move from interdependent to self-sufficient. So the lack of support comes from our interdependence on the things that our enemy produces. And our enemies produce weapons of mass destruction or weapons of mass distraction. So weapons of mass destruction are things that hurt us, both internally and externally. Weapons of mass distraction are things that hurt us internally or externally, but they have to deal more deeply rooted within the realm of mind control and psychology. So if we are spending time worrying about lending our energy to things that do us no benefit, then we won't spend our time promoting and propagating things that do matter. Our institutions matter. Our businesses matter. Our entrepreneurs matter. Get This Wisdom magazine should have 10 million subscribers. 10 million subscribers that pay that monthly subscription for something that was created with the sole intent and purpose of us in mind. Black and Nobel exists for us. There's some other products and things that I'm going to share, some other books, some other people that we align ourselves with that stand as vanguard. So even if you don't have the funds, say, hey, times is tough, I got to take care of my family, blah, blah, blah. What you can do every day is make you a list of the brothers and sisters that you support, and every day you make a post, share a post, inbox people, whatever you do, however you get the word out. And tell the people to support those people that are on your list every day. Every day. And then when you do got the funds at the end of the month, you go back to your list and you support them. You support them. But you're supporting them the entire month. Encourage the people that are around you to do the same. Support those who exist for the sole purpose of you. So for all of the subscribers of Get This Wisdom magazine, y'all should be doing videos. Make a video, a short video, make a post. Commit yourself to the process of support. Support comes in many forms. Two of the greatest supports that you could have is to, you see these icons on the side right here? Share. You can just share them. You can share them. It don't cost you nothing. You can just share. Look at this. Black empowerment 24/7 for the entire family. Like them on Facebook. Then after you like, you share. Look at this. You have found the perfect place for Black empowerment 24/7. The first of its kind. The one of one right here. And they need your support. They need your help. Children's Corner. Same thing with Black and Nobel. There for the children. There for the family. Get This Wisdom magazine is there for the entire family. So the entire family can return the favor and support Get This Wisdom magazine. Black and Nobel. This African liberation artist right here. Tahir RBG. This album. Look who's on this album. Look who is on this album. Look who's being resurrected. Support my brother, man. www.tahirbg.com. Everybody should have this album. Everybody should have this album right here.
Peace, Lord. We can't see the visual for his album.
You see it now?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. It's a dark screen. There it is.
So you got it now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the family should have this album. Everybody should have this album. This is an organization that ain't got to be in question. This is an outreach program that ain't got to be in question. They ain't allowing our enemies into this organization. So even if I'm telling you, even if you don't got the funds, if you don't got this $10 right here today, you can share. You can share. You can make a commitment to share. Say, I'm going to share this every day, once a day. I'm going to share this every day, once a day. I'm going to go to getthiswisdommagazine.com. I'm going to share this every single day. Earth, do you see this website right here?
Yes.
Okay. We're on www.ufasafo.com. United Front, Vanguard. We also got Asafo Radio on tonight on Do the Knowledge Radio. And that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, look, who's that right there? Tahir RBG. United Front General Bomani. Doc Makti in the building. And that's off of the Hate Produce video. Make a decision today. Get these albums. You can get these albums today. Say Black. Only built for killers, cutthroats, and warlords. United We Stand, Volume 1. Namuma's Revenge. The Vanguard EP. Cypher Inc. Doc Maki, Ambassador. Black Power Manhood Rap. 50 Shots Back. University Avenues are all set papers. United Front is an African Center collective of artists, activists, artists, ASAFO, and educators committed to working toward the reality of African sovereignty. For us, by us. They only exist for us. So we need to support those that exist solely for us. You know, they got this saying, they say, race first. I'm race only. Race only. So you see these videos right here. You can share the videos. You can share the website. So this is a continuous process. War ain't fought in one day. It's fought every day. So every single day, this warfare campaign is being waged on our people. Every day you get a video of some African being killed by the police. Every day, without fail. They don't give you a day off. They're reporting African death every single day. So this insurrection that's supposed to be taking place is built off of the support. So this is there as a counter towards the destruction of the African mind, the destruction of African civilization, the destruction of African family. It's there as a countering mechanism. This value and increase this market reach, we got to use all means, all weapons of opportunity at our disposal to get this information out to the people, to get these outreach programs into the hands of the warriors. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
We got the Brother Richter Foundation right here. Double disc. www.itsmebrick.com, itsmebrick.com. His album is out. Released on Tuesday. This brother needs our support. Again, $15, double disc. If you can't get it today, you can share it. You can share it until you can afford it. And then when you can afford it, you buy it and you receive it, you can share it with your family again. So we got to be able to support our people, support those who exist exclusively for us. These are our artists. These are our advocates. These are our activists. These are people who stand as a vanguard for our people. Look how proud the babies would be walking around with this on. Countering self-hatred through positive imagery. So you want the babies to find out about Malcolm like this? Or through looking ass niggas? Got decisions to make. So make sure y'all check out our brother, and also you can check him out Yeah, the Blackfish series. Well, it's the Book of Brick series now. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now we have this e-commerce site and hub site.
Peace,
My
Lord.
media.
It's still
Peace.
on it's still on Brick site. And all we're saying is drops Tuesday, July 18, 2017.
Okay. Let me try it again. Is it working now?
We're at Do the Knowledge Radio.
Okay. Thank you. So we got our hub site here, and it's a link to everything that we're involved in. We got the videos right here. These are some of the videos from our YouTube channel, Do the Knowledge Radio. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel there. You see we got the Chief Priest of Anisu right there, our brother Uncle Benute. And look at what we're talking about. African liberation. African liberation talks with our RBG Hebrew brother Divine Prospect. We got a KT the Arts degree decoded over here. And we got our brother Captain Cesario from the ISUBK. I had a chat with Jay Dizzle of Black Eye Stand Radio, Liberation Minded Media. We got our brother Trey Minor right here. So, this is a collaboration of some of the videos, and you can view them all here. And all of our shows, Do Now's Radio right here. Got all of the shows. You can view all of the shows here. And we got that fella. I don't know who that fella is. Yeah. But, we got it here. And again, we got products here as well. You can support the platform by, going here and, making the purchase if you see fit. And if you can't, you can just share it. You can just share it and raise awareness to the people, and, let the people know that you support these particular platforms. And you could just make a testimonial saying that you support, these particular, the testimony comes in, with your wise words and with your ways and actions. You vote with your feet and you vote with your wallet. You see what I'm saying? So you can do that, but you also can just support, these particular platforms, along with a host of others and some other, things are worthy of our attention. So we should bring attention to them as well, and we can solve the issue of lack of support. There's a couple other things I wanted to show. Do we still have time? Can I show these?
Do your thing, Lord. Do your thing.
Thank you. So I just need to know if you can see it.
Yes, sir. It's very clear.
All right, this is Che's album, Only Built for Killers, Cutthroats, and Warlords. We saw it at the site, www.ufosafo.com. You get a copy of that album, $10. Or like I said, you can raise awareness to your friends and family and tell them to support this album. Got the next one. Can you see it?
Could you put it a little bit closer? Over, take it to your right a little bit. All right, there we go, right there.
All right, again, that's the
Yeah.
Vanguard EP, www.ufosafo.com. We saw it on the website. You can support that initiative, and the proceeds that come from that album are going to support African-centered education, African-centered schools. We have we support our own initiative, and they support those African-centered schools. Again, you see this?
Yes.
This is the double disc physical copy that you could get, www.itsmebrick.com. That's itsmebrica.com. See what it looks like. So, and this product right here for us, $15 built with self empowerment from all of the imagery, everything that's up there. You see what I'm saying? So, you can get that again. You saw it on the website. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's a good look.
Okay. This is a production made by a production family at Anime Productions. Dr. Oya Mayat and her family invested in this project, this Meltrek series. You can go to www.adanimeproductions.com and get you Meltrek DVD. This is very impactful. This is episode 1. And we are episode 2. Episode 1, they're going through exploring ancient Africa, looking on the continent. In episode 2, ancient America. So www.adanimeproductions.com and learn about the Meltrek. This is our brother, the founder, the group, The Last Poets, Abiodun Oyewale. And you can check him out on Facebook and inbox him for a copy of this book. I had the honor and privilege of meeting this esteemed elder at Pan African Connections, and I got this book from him and one of his sons, Brother Pharaoh Davis. So this was definitely an honor and a privilege to hear our brother speak, to hear him perform. He's one of our masters. And we know anything about the history of our hip hop, it came out of, these works of the last poets. And throw out my shout out, shout out there. Can you see it?
Yes, I can. Peace to the God for that.
That's the best part of the experience, that face-to-face interaction, to be able to get that from our elder, you know what I mean? And to let them know that we support them, that we love them, and that we honor the contributions of the work they've been before us, in regards to revolutionary proper propaganda. This is one of the highest orders and the most easily recognizable. So, we saw Tahir RBG, we saw Brick the Foundation, we saw United Front, continuing in the same lane that was established before them in honor and ode to our ancestors. So, this book, can you see it?
Oh yeah.
This is Dr. Amos Wilson's book, Blueprint for Black Power. This is a must-have publication for anyone who's serious, any African who's serious about our liberation. Must have. It's a textbook. See how many pages up in there. 887 pages in this book. 887 pages. So a lot of his work is available on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and check out his presentations. And the family should have this book. Should have this book. Esteemed elder and ancestor Dr. Amos Wilson. And also this book. The Falsification of African Consciousness, Eurocentric History, Psychiatry, and the Politics of White Supremacy. So either you see it in this color or you see it in the green color, it's the same book. My brother Black Dot, this is his second book. The first one was Hip Hop Decoded, and this is a second installment, Urban Culture Decoded. And you can get that from www.idecoded.com, and it speaks about many things that affect us as a urban culture and community. So www.idecoded.com. So again, if you're unable to purchase these books initially, you can publicize them by sharing this information with the people that are in your sphere of influence via social media. You see the sister Zaza Ali with her book Black Matters Volume 1. And you could go to www.zazaali.com and get this book. Remarkable, remarkable offering by our sister. And I got to show them a shout out. Ah! My brother Joseph Hank. Joseph editing the book The Hank. Remarkable read. The Hank is an African, European, and American folklore and the culture meshed together to create an exciting, mysterious, and tantalizing novel. It has voodoo, murder, rape, sex, exploitation, healing, loyalty, love, universal oneness, and living biblical comparisons. The Hank is also about the duality between the good and the evil we all innately have inside of us. It starts in Africa and travels across the Atlantic to pre-civil America. Come take a journey. So brother Joseph A. Eddington wrote this book. You can get this book from the brother if you look him up on Facebook, Joseph A. Eddington. That's Eddington. And if you got a media platform, get the brother on your platform. So the shout out right quick. Love from the family. You know what I mean? Now we got to get into some of the serious books over here. From my Hininsu tribe, my Abat, my family over there, my brother, Uncle Benu, wrote this masterous textbook called Remembering Osir. And this textbook has 657 pages, an instruction manual, an encyclopedia, all about Kemet, the deities and divine forces of nature, the government, and how to access them, and how to set up ancestral shrines in your home, divination, everything, all of the how-to. 660 something pages here for the family. So for anyone who purports to be about the Kemetic tradition, the Kemetic way of life, if you're wearing an Ankh, you need to get with your brother Uncle Benu and get this textbook so you can truly be a practitioner in these particular Kemetic traditions. If you're laying claim to them, you got a how-to manual, the first of its kind. And the only one out there that deals with the Kemetic tradition from anything above the cool significance or reference. So www.hininsu.com. And these are two other books that my brother has authored. Revenging Osir. And The Key to Eden. This was his first book. So y'all should check my brother out. www.hininsu.com to get those books. And also, he is a practitioner, a diviner, spiritual healer. And y'all could call him and his awesome wife, Marie, and get you some consultations. All right, I got a couple of more books and then I'll be done. This book from my teacher, along with Black Dot, along with Chief Priest of Hininsu, my brother Uncle Benu, a teacher. My brother A. Rashid, has produced this offering. 10 or 15 books to this date, and he's compiled them into one volume, Dark Star Hip Hop. And you can get this volume by contacting him directly at sprince1975@gmail. And also that is to pay for this book. It is a remarkable offering, and it deals with art and the mysteries of the world as viewed through a Kabbalistic lens. So you must have. I got that autograph up in there. I got to, had to get that autograph. All right, we got History of the Nation of Islam. And in this book, on page 69, just wanted to show that to the family real quick. I don't know if you can see it. No. History of the Nation of Islam on returning to Africa. Page 69. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was speaking about repatriation. George Jackson's Blood in My Eye. Must have for any military organization that purports to be about the liberation of African people. George Jackson. His transition date was August 21st, 1971. Must have. In his other book, Soledad Brothers, The Prison Writings of George Jackson, must have. And those books, you can get them off of Amazon. You got The Psychopathic Racial Personality by a brother I love dearly, along with Dr. Amos Wilson, and two ancestors I honor and revere. Dr. Bobby E. Wright, African-centered psychology is that film. And for the family that knows, that's one of my areas of specialty, along with military science, military strategy. You can get that from Amazon as well. You can get this book entitled Yurungu, An African-Centered Critique of European Cultural Thought and Behavior, from Dr. Remember I Need. Must have. Textbook. You can get this from African World Books, P.O. Box 16447, Baltimore, Maryland 21217. So in addition to the websites that you were shown, these particular products are must-have, along with a bunch of other offerings that our ancestors left for us. There are too many to get into. Few of those references, so we can become, as we were in the beginning, a referral network, and again reestablish value in what we bring forth as African people to one another. That we bring forth, these products, these services, these offerings, these literary works, they need to be supported in the utmost, and we can begin to tackle this problem and solve this problem about support, because support leads to self-sustainability, and it transitions us from interdependence to self-reliance.
Wow, family. You just got a whole library right there. The guy wasn't playing. I'm just sitting back, and I'm completely in the space of gratitude for you, Lord, because what you did on this episode, I definitely learned a lot. And, for you to just put your heart out there and let it be known that this is who you are. This is your life. Black only, race only. and this is what you promote on a 24/7 daily basis, you know, it's definitely a high gift from our ancestors. The work that you do and the brand that you represent with Do the Knowledge Radio and Do the Knowledge University. And we also need to show that same love and enthusiasm and support right back to the God for what he does. He offers himself endlessly to us all as an avenue for support and African liberation, African love. And I just want to say from the bottom of my spirit, you know, thank you, Lord, very much for what you do for us all. Your life is definitely a gift. Thank you.
I thank you for the same gift that you give. Need to go check out website www.shakticares.com and see those products and services that this warrior goddess, this true living earth offers to our family. Her sacrifices are great. You know, it's a tireless effort, and sometimes it's a thankless effort. It should be acknowledged and should be cultivated and should be rewarded. Again, that disconnect that I was speaking about with not paying homage or reverence to the womb continues to wound that sacred womb that cultivates life and that brings forth life. So I honor and cherish this warrior for everything that she does and everything that she offers to our family. So she needs that earnest support, the same earnest support that she's rallying for what we give forth at Do Knowledge Radio. We do the same thing for Shakti, Everlasting Peace Earth, with Shakti Speaks, Spiritual Healing Series, and with the Warrior Queen's Perspective. And anytime that this warrior wants to come on and show us that love or set some records straight, you know what I mean? You're going to get that wisdom. You're going to get that wisdom from Shakti Everlasting Peace Earth. So make sure y'all check out www.shakticares.com. Those products, those services. It's an array of excellence that comes from this wonderful earth. So I definitely wanted to extend that love and honor to you and to your platform and to all of the things that you're involved in. And, you know, we stand, you know, side by side in this on the battlefield. And our goal, aims, and objectives is to win. So anything I can do to help you or your brand or your platform, you know, I got you.
Indeed. So what we got coming up next, Lord? I know you spoke to having the Asafo Radio tonight with United Front. What we got going on this weekend over at Do the Knowledge Radio?
Man, I'm telling you that this. I always say, you know, like, you know, the weekend coming up, man, it's gonna be powerful, man, it's gonna be tight. But when I start talking about what's happening for, you know, this weekend right here, there's some remarkable things in the works, you know. We got this Friday, we got tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Asafo Radio. We're gonna have the brother Straight Black Pride NYC's regional chairman, the brother Tad Cromwell of Straight Black Talk, Straight Black Pride NYC will be in the building, along with his Straight Black Pride counterpart, brother Ashe, will be in the building. And we're gonna be talking about, you know, Straight Black Pride and, you know, some of these things that's going on and affecting our people through this Euro sexual assault and all these things that are going on. We'll be dealing with that. The brother, the young warrior, Q Butter, will be in the building tonight talking about his upcoming Black Empowerment Tour starting next week. So we're gonna get one more push. We're gonna get the brother in there, share his thoughts, talk about his upcoming EP. So it's a lot of those things that are going on tonight. And also we got Tahir RBG, aka Tahir Boumaye, will be in the building tonight as well. So we're gonna have this roundtable discussion with the Warriors. The Warriors are coming out to have a seat at the table live on the Safo Radio, the place where the Warriors meet. So we definitely gonna be dealing with that tonight. So you don't want to miss that, and that's tonight. And then on Saturday, we got in honor of the Brother Brick the Foundation's double disc release. We're gonna have something on there in regards to, we're gonna have that Book of Brick History Month block party. All right, so we got that 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday and Sunday. We got one of my mentors, one of the sisters, when I was in the military. She is coming on, Kimberly Robinson, coming on to tell her story and also to promote her brand. She makes headpieces, crowns, Kimberly's Crowns. The CEO, Kimberly's Crowns, will be on to share her experience. Also, a great opportunity for her to tell her story as a sister who served in the military, for over 20 years. So, her experiences around the world, her experiences in Kemet and a lot of other different places, and, her journey through consciousness while serving in the armed forces. So definitely going to be a impactful show on Sunday. So we got that on Sunday, and we got on Monday, on Melanin Magic Monday, we got Shakti Everlasting Peace Earth coming through with Shakti Speaks, and that's going to be a remarkable show. I'm going to make sure she talks about that before we get up out of here. So yeah, it's a lot in the planning. Then we roll over to Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the CD giveaway live on the Book of Bricks series on Through Knowledge Radio. Wednesday, we got the Black Survival General Civilization class. Thursday, we got the Goddess Ayana Divine coming through. Friday, we got Kook Ken Radio, the brother Chief Priest of the Sioux Tribe. Uncle New will be in the building on Friday. So we just continue to roll on. And I believe on Saturday, we're going to get a prelude of the Conscious Olympics. So hopefully we have KT the Arts Degree and Minister Inky in the building, Asanori Bay and Drew Butter in the building, along with Doggy Diamond. So we're trying to work that out. And you could get your tickets for the Conscious Olympics at www.consciousolympics.yapcity.com. And on Sunday, we got our monthly recruiting drive. We're getting off the month strong with the Black Riders Liberation Party monthly international recruiting drive. So it's a lot, you know what I mean? And the only way you can get that information and keep up what's going on is www.blogtalkradio.com/Through Knowledge Radio. That's DOTHAKNOWLADGERADIO. Again, www.blogtalkradio.com/Through Knowledge Radio. Also, ThroughKnowledgeUniversity.com, as you saw, our hub site, our e-commerce site.
And this is the busiest working brother in our time right now. You heard it for yourself what he has going on. I think we have one more surprise announcement from the God if he wants to do it right now. If not, we'll wait for a later date. I think we have something going on with Knowledge Born coming on to the Get This Wisdom Live platform. Is that something we can discuss right now, Lord?
Drop the bomb on him. Drop the bomb on him.
Well, We have opened up our platform, and the God has graciously accepted the invite to come on once a week to teach the people the African Liberation class. That will be live here on Get This Wisdom Live. So we're definitely excited for that. You know, we are the only ones who are able to get Knowledge Board to step onto our platform and share with us. So that's a gift thus far, you know. So definitely stay tuned for that. And again, Lord, it's been an honor to have you on tonight. Thank you. Thank you from the depths of my soul. Thank you to all the viewers. Tune in Monday for the next installment of the Shakti Speaks Spiritual Healing series on Do the Knowledge Radio at 5 p.m. Eastern. Check out our latest issue of Get This Wisdom magazine, our Black Power Health and Fitness issue. It just dropped on July 14th. That's available at www.getthiswisdommagazine.com. For spiritual services and my natural skincare product line, you can check that out at www.shakticares.com. And we'll be back with another episode of Get This Wisdom Live next week. So thank you very much again to Knowledge Born of Law and the whole brand of Do the Knowledge Radio and Do the Knowledge University for sitting with us tonight. It's been a very powerful episode. Until next time, peace, love, and Black power.